I like to hear about childhood memories, because
Yeah,
it's nostalgic, first of all. And second of all, it kind of gives us a glimpse of what molded you into this being that you are now. It had to start from somewhere, right?
yeah.
So I like to go back into childhood, like where you were born and raised. Was it a two-parent household, one-parent household, siblings, a bunch of cousins? Did you have more humbling beginnings, or did you have more well-to-do type of situations? Did you drink Kool-Aid out the jar, or had the palace on the floor, or maybe you came from a place where it was a gated community and you were, you had rock, you had, was written to school, or you had a little you had a little bouginess, and that's okay too. You
Yeah.
know.
I'm coming straight from the. I'm not gonna say. I wouldn't say because I know people that come from different. We all come from different places, but my mom raised me. Six of us. It was six of us, and
Really?
it was
Oh,
six of them,
wow.
and it was definitely different. Like we always lived in a house. We always lived in a house. So I never was like one of those kids like I was in the projects and all that. Nah, we lived in a house. We always had like a
Mhm.
house over like a nice house. We always had a nice house, furniture. Everything was our upbringing was really good. My mom tried her best to keep everything put together. You know what I'm saying? I think when I was younger, I felt like I had this imagination that just I always wanted to create something. Like I even when I used to,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I used to play with toys
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I used
Yeah,
to
you sound just like a Mega Keys. Okay, there we go. Now we get. Now I see where you're going with that. That sounds just like a Mega Keys. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but I had her on last week, and she said that it started right there with the toys, and
yeah.
as a child, like her creative just was flowing since then. So yeah.
Yes, I was like I used to just make like my toys and just make them like their own little world, and I think that kind of like molded me into like create stories and all that.
Like you said that you're among six, and where do you fall?
So I got well, I had an older sister. One of my brothers that passed away, which is the right after her, and then I had an older sister, and then it's me, and then I got two younger siblings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so even with you being among siblings, and you were had those creative just influence since then, were they your audience?
Uh, I mean, we all like all my brothers and sisters, like we all kind of got our own paths. You know what I'm saying? Everyone is kind of like in their own like separate ways, and I think that's probably because we all. I don't know. It's like we grew up in the same household, but we none of us really have shared the same interest in anything. Honestly,
Oh, okay. But I mean, but even if y'all didn't have your same interests, I mean, did y'all support each other in whatever interests y'all had, or any endeavors that you had? I mean, I'm sure there had to been some type of support at some point. No?
um, honestly, I kind of like out of all my siblings, I think maybe like me getting into the film industry and just doing things in the entertainment type situation, I think I might probably broke through before everybody else. I don't think they all had like my sisters do do hair and stuff like that. My
Okay.
brother, my brother that passed away, he kind of was like more like uh he, everybody just had like I said, I don't really see everybody had their own little paths. Like I don't really see it wasn't nothing like where it's like all right like they all had not saying they didn't have talent, but it wasn't like they didn't really was doing much of anything, if that makes sense.
Right. No, no, I hear you. I don't know if you're able to see the comments or not on your end. But I want to shout out Miss Stevie. Yeah, Miss Stevie. He said she said hey, hi Faith, hey girl, happy Saturday, hi Daddy Love. And
How you doing?
she calls my audience the faithfuls. That's what she calls my followers. That's the name that she domed the fans of mine, the few that they are. Yeah. But my pastor is so funny. Like when I first um told him about my channel, and I put the name Faith is the substance, he said the fits. And I said, oh, okay, that makes sense too. Faith is the substance, that acronym. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's another name that he gave as well. And so Miss Stevie, I don't look, you keep asking about lip colors. I don't be knowing. I have to let you know later on. I don't be knowing the names. I'm sorry. Yeah, but okay, back to you, Daddy Love. I just have to make sure that I pay homage to Miss Stevie, because she, like I said, she's one of the inspiration behind why I do what I do as far as my interviews. So I
Right.
always want to make sure that I acknowledge her in the building. So yes, so those are some of the memories that you share. So can you, before we get more into your creative side, because I want to make sure I pin that one. Um, Give us some more of memories of some of the things that you carried on from inside your household to outside of your household. Like some of the things that you used to listen to? Like, did you dance in front of company as children? Did you did you like look forward to the toy inside the cereal box, or share share TV? Like, just give us some little memories.
I think growing up, I always was like everybody say like I used to be like mad annoying and just I had my own type
Oh
of
my goodness.
like annoyance of like to my older sisters and brothers. They always be like, "Yo, you get on my nerves," because I used to have I'm like a character, so I'm very like silly too. So like I think just me being a character in itself, it was like bring back like how I used to be growing up to like how I am now. So everybody would say like, "Yo, he's mad silly. He's like funny and all that." So I think I just always been that type of person, you know. So my childhood, I always playing around, playing pranks and messing with people, and just I guess it just followed me to where I'm at now.
Oh, okay. So you was a jokester, a
Jokester,
prankster.
yeah,
Oh, okay, so it drove people crazy sometimes because I know they was like, "Can you just turn that off? I mean, can you stop playing? You play too much."
yeah. That's
That
that's what
sort of thing.
my mom, because like I said, she raised six of us and she worked every day, so we all used to be in the house watching each other. So like I used to be the one that get on their nerves the most. They used to call my mom all day, every day. He's getting on
Oh,
her nerves.
really?
Yeah, so yeah, I
Oh, wow. They used to do you like that, Daddy Love? Oh my goodness. Oh, so that's why you kind of, kind of set yourself around your creativity, and your dolls and your toys became, you
yeah,
know, your company, the people, those that you interact the most with,
yeah.
so that's why, okay, so now it's starting to make sense now. That's what led up to you, okay, got you. Okay, now we getting somewhere. Now we get into some things.
Mhm.
Yeah, so so what was can you tell me, and then we still on childhood now. Do you remember what is some of the first projects you created? Did you was it a play, or was it a story? Like, what was one of the first things that you actually done that you completed
But as a child, or you just
as a
saying?
child? Yeah, as a child at that time when you saying that you started being creative with the dolls, and like what were some of the things that you used to do
I used to
at
like
that time?
I learned how to use computers real soon, like at an early age. So I learned how to um I learned how to edit and mess with computers real young. Like I was really like a nerd type too. So I was always like messing with computers and stuff like that. So I kind of figured that I learned computers earlier than a lot of kids I grew up with.
Okay, no, I'm still here. I just that's why actually I was just putting on my fan. Yeah,
Okay.
that's yeah. So okay, so now so with that with that keeps, like, those creative juices keeps brewing, like, and I know you're saying that you and your siblings had your own thing going on, and at that time, and I do understand that y'all had your own separate set of friends, your own social circle, and everything else going on. How about your elders in your family? Did they see it? Did they see the niche at
Yeah.
that time?
I don't know. Like I said, I feel like when I go back and talk to like my mom and stuff, like my uncle, I had found out I had an uncle like at like maybe 11 or 12. My mom found out she thought it was her cousin the whole time. They found out it was her brother.
Oh, oh wow.
But he used to come down from New York. He used to have this big old camcorder. He used to have this big ass camcorder. He used to walk around the
Yes,
house
on
with
the
it.
shoulder.
Yeah.
Yes.
He came down every time he came down, he always would bring it. I always would ask like asking, can I, record with it and like let me show me how to work it. I want to use it and stuff like that. And I think that kind of got me like intrigued a little bit also. What I mean? I knew my mom wasn't buying me no cameras and like that. So I was just basically every time he came around with the camera and like parties or whatever going on, I'd be the one holding the camera trying to record stuff.
Oh, okay, and I think that is so cool. So now, I mean, of all the things that you could have came up with, say, to do as far as creative wise, why that in particular? What was it about? You created stories. What it had, where did that come from? Where did that interest come from? Because people have their own lane. So why that lane in particular? If you could, even if you even knew at the time.
I mean, I didn't know. I think
Yeah.
I just kind of just stumbled on it and it kind of like it just turned great for me. I honestly didn't like, oh, I'm gonna be a film director. Because honestly, when I talk to people now, it's mind blowing. Because I'd be like, I don't even be knowing half of the movies that people watch. I'm not a crazy movie like person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why
Hmm.
I'm not. I really don't watch movies and stuff like that. and that's why it's kind of like different for me to have like the love of filmmaking is different because I don't really watch movies. I really don't watch them at all, honestly.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I want to get, I'm gonna get more into that. Like, how does one who really doesn't like watch it, but that they understand how to move about it. But I'm gonna get more into that. But what I really want to know is what you mentioned about, you just had this, this knack for it. It had to come, okay, like, was there certain TV shows you like to watch, or was there inspiration there? Any particular actors or even authors like Dr. Seuss? It could be anybody, you know.
Nah, honestly, it really wasn't. I honestly, when I was growing up, from the ages where I was able to like, my mom just let us outside running around. I never really even, I wasn't a house kid, So I grew up to create outside. Like, so me and my friends, like particular one of my houses I grew up in, we used to make clubhouses, and I used to swear the house was like my like that's what we I was into stuff like that. So I was always
Mhm.
creative, but I always use it in the point of where I'm not inside the house, like I'm outside creating and doing things and just navigating through life like that. I think that's probably because a lot of people I didn't even really watch cartoons. I'm really not a big TV person.
Right, because you was outside. You know what? And I'm glad. Okay, this is a good segue, real quick, because I want you to give your perspective on this because how you said that you didn't watch TV as much because you was outside or you was preoccupied, doing different projects, in front of your the toys in front of your dolls and stuff, right? And so I compare that to how nowadays where, children sit with their iPads or phones all day and don't really get that experience as much when we used to be outside playing hopscotch, double dutch, or being out to the street lights came on. And not many children, I'm not saying that they don't now, but not many experience that. So can you give your perspective on, how it may be a gentleman, you
I
being,
think
outside versus, kids on their iPhones and not really get to experiencing life and touching grass.
I think now because I feel like a lot of parents kind of use that as a escape route for their kids.
Yes,
So I think
yes.
that's something that they can just get their kids, leave them hell alone, put them in a head, take this iPad, and it's like I mean, it is a gift and a curse, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of kids are losing their childhoods because they're watching other kids experience childhood when they can actually be doing it. So I kind of figured like I feel like a lot of these parents just they use that iPad thing for a escape route. Like here, take this and get out of my face, and they don't understand
Yes.
how because So I think that's what it is, and it's and
Mhm.
different time now too. Like I said, I was like I have a younger daughter. She's 6. My back when me and my sister, we were 6, 7 years old outside, like literally going to like the park by ourselves. My mom was
Yes.
park, go ahead, play in the park and make sure I'll come back on the street, whatever, whatever. I wouldn't even dare do that with my daughter now. So
No.
it's like
Mm-mm.
times has changed. It's like people are not trustworthy. It's like it's a lot of different things that you have to take in measures now than how we were growing up before. So it's kind of
Yes.
having the kids in the house on the iPad is sometimes it's not a bad thing, but then it's like, all right, these kids need to go outside sometimes.
Yes. It has to be a moderation because I do agree sometimes because, and just, you while you was talking, it kind of bring me back to, when my son was young. He's an adult now, but when he was younger, I put him in front of the TV because I'm like, I need to get just a little bit more sleep, just a little bit more sleep. So just watch these cartoons for me. But I would have to take him outside. He was hyperactive, diagnosed with ADHD, so he needed to go to the park, and I wanted to make sure that he had that experience as well. Take him outside. But there were times, like I said, some parents you just get, you do get annoyed sometimes. So I do understand both sides of things, but you have to have a balance. There has to be a balance there. You
Absolutely.
know, yeah, you can't fully rely on the iPad or the TV to occupy your child's stimuli. It has to be a balance there. So thank you for sharing your perspective on that. So now let me ask you, before we get into the elementary, junior high school phase, I want to go a little bit. I want to kind of wrap up the childhood thing because I want to know. Oh, by the way, were you born and raised? Where were you born and raised? I forgot to ask.
I'm from Red Bank, New Jersey.
Are you from? Oh, okay, you from up north? Okay. Yeah, I'm from New York, so we're kind of neighbors. So
Uh,
yeah, you said what part of Jersey?
so Red Bank is considered like it's like in the middle. So I'm like maybe like 20 minutes from the beach, like right by the shore. So like Red Bank
Sure.
is like
Okay.
considered by Jersey Shore. So I'm grew up in the shore by the shore.
By the shore. Okay. And so can you briefly tell me? about some of the were they were a two-parent household? Well, I don't think I established that.
No, so like I said, my mother raised us. My father was around, like sprinkly around. He comes around sometimes, sometimes he doesn't, and sometimes I hear from him for like months out, months times I don't. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, my mom raised me. I've lived in that house with my mom since I was 17, 18 years old.
Okay, got you. And so, now what are some of the key takeaways that you probably gotten from your mom, as you transitioned into adulthood? Do you remember?
I got like I got I think that's where I learned like ambition. Like I knew my mom was straight grind. Like her grind is like I never seen my mom where she like if she I never seen her like down and out where it's like even when she was
Mm,
like, sick, she still went to work. My mom working. She had work. Like that was so that kind of embedded into me where I gotta go get it too. Like nobody gonna give you nothing. So don't complain, don't ask for nothing, go to work and get it. Like that's the only way. If you're gonna work, you gotta do something. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that's what I watched my mom do, you know.
yeah, wonderful. And I'm glad that, shout out to your mom for being the example. She led by example. So I'm glad that she was an example of how you able to move now. Okay, so thank you for sharing your some of your childhood backstory. And so now I want to get more into the elementary and junior high school, because that's a phase that I enjoy to hear about because we don't talk about it. We
Yeah,
don't really, when we talk about you know, school days, we start from high school and college, but we don't realize how pivotal elementary, junior high school is when it comes to um, just self discovery. Acne, you're kind of discovering your anatomy, you're humping in the staircase, you're building up your social skills, and all those things happen in elementary and junior high school. You just testosterone strong, so those type of things. And so when you think that you're not old enough to understand certain things, we do.
yeah.
So I just want to get your take on if you can remember your elementary and junior high school days, and were you popular? Were you shy? How was your grades, and did you interact well with other children, or did you have certain struggles? Like, can you give a little bit of your take
I
on
think
that time?
yeah, elementary. I'm always like a kid that I could I'm always in the inner crowd. I always the inner crowd kid child. I always had friends. I always had people that want to be around me. Um, I was like out in school. Like I said, I always like how I act at home. I act at school. So I was like a class clown even
Last
more.
clown, yes.
Yeah, I was always trying to make people laugh, get in trouble. My grades wasn't so well. I mean, I was kind of like one of those kids. I took school as like a playground. Like when I went to school, I couldn't wait because it was gonna be fun. They show my ass, and that kind of got me like where you know a lot of people like my teachers and stuff like that probably used to look like, yo, this kid's gonna be a failure or whatever the case might be because I didn't take school serious at all. Honestly, I think my last year of high school, my last 2 years of high school, I only went to school like one day a week. I had got into co-op or some shit like where you
Oh, yeah, yeah.
work
Hmm.
work through to like 40 other week and go to school, and I end up going to school only on a Friday. Literally a whole 2 years of not even. I'm talking about. I can't believe to this day like that I didn't go to school like just to go to work and just make sure I had I kept up with the like the tests and stuff like that, and I graduated high school. So I didn't really take it serious at all, honestly, not even a little bit.
So going back, so we gonna get to high school too. So yeah, a bookmark that one. But so when you go back to the elementary and junior high school, did you take it seriously then or no? So
I ain't
and
say
why not?
because I think because I just felt like school was just something where I played like a lot and it was just something that I just did like where I just it was so many friends just like that. It's just crazy. Hey, how you doing?
Mhm.
Thank you. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. You on set?
No, my daughter do lashes and she had a client.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I will also want to take the time to shout out your Facebook friends. So I'm glad you was able to stream on your end as well. So shout out to your Facebook followers as well.
Yep,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you for being here. Yeah. All right. So, guy, I'm sorry. You was saying.
Oh yeah, so
You
like
was-
with the school, like I said, I just didn't find it. I just took school as just like a whole place to get away from home and just have fun. Girl like had crushes on certain girls and want to just finding myself for it like mingling and meeting people and just just having love in life like at a young age. I think that's what was like was made it fun just going to school. That's all I seen it as.
Okay, so but I mean, but like again, and you know what's is there another name I could call you, or you just Daddy Love?
You can call me Love. I
Love.
think
Okay.
everybody call me Love. So Daddy Love. So basically, Daddy Love is just basically once I had my first daughter, it just kind of stemmed from like everybody was like being like my one of my good friends was like, "Oh, Daddy Love," like after I had my daughter. So
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
everybody used to just call me Love, like, "Hey, Love, what's Love, Love," whatever, like that. But once I had my daughter, they just like, "Oh," I was the first one out of all my friends had my daughter. My daughter might be 20 next week, so I was like
oh, okay.
now. So they just be like funny, like, "Oh, Daddy Love, they go Daddy Love." So I just liked it. It was different. It rolled off the tongue a little different. It kind of gave like a different type of
And it's a good stage name. It's good. It's a good a professional name.
yeah.
But
So
but you know what? I be thinking. I was thinking when I first saw that, when I first saw your credentials,
yeah.
and I was like, I wonder. I always wanted to ask you, do you get any comparisons to a certain bad boy producer?
Oh yeah, nah. You know it's crazy. It just because because now Diddy started. They just started bringing out like his name as like. But I think I've been they've been calling me Daddy Love since 2000, and my daughter was born 2005. So it's not like a name that came like 2 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I got it tatted on me since I got my first tattoo in 2007. So I had this name since like 2005, over 20 years. So I
Oh,
don't know if
okay.
he was calling himself. I think he's called himself Diddy Love or something like that. Daddy Love is like a unique.
Yeah, I was just curious. Did they ever make that comparison? Because he used to call the studio Daddy's house. So
Yeah,
those type of things. So that's when because I think about those things running through my mind when I first saw your name, and that's I was always curious about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I get it sometimes now because now of the stigma that he got behind
Yes.
his name.
Hmm.
I don't really take offense of it. I don't be minding. I don't be like I'm in my own world. I don't bother
Right,
me.
because your own individual has, because whatever you got going on got nothing to do with that. So,
Yeah,
hey,
I didn't.
but people are gonna, they're gonna say what they're gonna say. They're gonna, they, how their mindsets are, So,
I get it.
yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah,
All right. So now, so love, so now when you talk about, so we still on, elementary, junior high, and we'll get off that real quick, but and you saying that you had your crushes on girls, and you kind of got in the fit in, like you fit in wherever you could.
yeah,
Um, and so, how, and I was going to say also, when I was about to say about the creatives, most creatives, don't really, they don't like the structure environment when it comes to schooling, because, the creative minds just be flowing. And so they operate in a different way. The right side of their brain just operates differently. So when it comes to school, a lot of times, a lot of creatives are not really into the
yeah,
structurized environment. It's the same way as the 9 to 5. Like a lot of creatives, they're not really um, fans of the 9 to 5 because of that as well, because they just have a different type of, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
different type of makeup,
yeah,
so to speak.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I really don't. I guess with me, like like my creative side, it's wild to me because I'm telling you, for me to stumble in this and I started to really fall in love with it. I never was like in no like no study in school, like no clubs or film or nothing. Like I just picked it up, learned how to do it, and just trying to master it. It wasn't something that some people have that gift where they like, yo, I loved. I was this is what I've been doing since I was young. This is not that. I think I'm just a creative person. I could be doing anything. I think I would have been doing anything. It could have been anything creative. I think I'd have been in any industry, honestly.
Okay. So so you mentioned that, as far as industry. Now, if you weren't in the film industry, what occupation would you have right now? What type of job would you think you have?
I definitely be doing something for myself. I've always been an entrepreneur. I worked before, but like I never really like taking. I'm a Leo. I'm really like a hard. Like I don't really like taking orders from no one. So I kind of had jobs that really wasn't working out for me. So I always been on an entrepreneur like journey. So I used to be a music producer. I used to make beats.
Mm,
I used to have my own studio. I did everything to try to like make it make sense. And try to stay afloat and stay out the out the way where it would end me up in jail or in those type of situations.
yeah. So you always made sure you had an outlet. You always made sure that you occupied your time in other places where you it wouldn't lead down to the wrong path. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Be proactive. And so, what was your social circle like? Like did you have I'm going back to support system because that's very important. So I bring that up a lot about support. And as you gotten older and as you go into this phase in your life and you continue your craft, what was it like the support system around you as far as your social circle, you know,
Like as in friends or family.
friends, yeah, mostly friends, especially like in
What
school and in the neighborhood.
I had, like I said, I always had like I always was a person that had like whoever I was cool with and friends with, I always consider like my friends. They always like good. I never had like bad friends, like where like, oh, these people are bad. I'm around bad people. I always had people that genuinely was my friends.
Yeah.
Um, I think it just basically just how the surroundings or whatever surrounding I was in. Because I grew up in Red Bank, but like I said, I grew up in Red Bank at a young age, and I moved to another town called Neptune. That's really where I really like got to like to
That's a
flirt.
city. Oh, it's a city in New Jersey, Neptune.
Yeah, it's another city in Neptune, in New Jersey called Neptune. It's like by, I don't know if you heard of Asbury Park before.
Yes.
So it's literally like the out, it's like literally right next door, literally. So
Oh, okay.
another town
Yeah.
that Asbury Park, yeah.